When Auntie Kemy came back in the evening, Dominion's parents were not at home. Immediately, she called Dominion to her room. Dominion's heart pounded with fear, wondering what would happen to him. She said, "Come to the bed and remove something from my back. I also want to show you something today since your parents are not home." At first, Dominion didn't want to go, but he didn't want Auntie Kemy to scold or beat him either. He started walking slowly toward the bed because he already knew what Auntie Kemy wanted to do to him. Just as she was about to touch him, Dominion heard his mother's voice from the living room calling his name. He immediately jumped off the bed and rushed to meet his mother in living room. Dominion's heart pounded as he clung to his mother's dress, his breath shaky. His words spilled out in a rush. Breathless, he started explaining what was about to happen. "Mummy, Auntie Kemy, she called me to her room. She wanted to." His voice cracked, his small hands trembling. His mother's expression shifted immediately. Her eyes darkened as she looked at him, then at Auntie Kemy, who stood frozen behind him. Auntie Kemy forced a nervous laugh. Dominion, what are you saying? I just needed his help with something." Dominion shook his head violently. "No, Mummy. She always calls me when you and Daddy are not home. She tells me to do things." His voice dropped to a whisper. "She touches me." Silence. Heavy. Unforgiving. His mother's body tensed. Slowly, she turned to Auntie Kemy, her face unreadable. "What did you just say?" Her voice was dangerously low. Auntie Kemy's face twisted. He's lying. Why would I?" But Dominion's mother wasn't listening. Her hands balled into fists, her body trembling with rage. "You mean to tell me that under my own roof you dared?" Her voice broke. Dominion shrank back, afraid she was about to scold him for speaking, but instead, she stepped in front of him, shielding him. "Get out." Auntie Kemy's face paled. "Sister, please." "I said get out," his mother thundered, pointing to the door. Dominion had never seen her this angry before. Auntie Kemy hesitated, then hurried to grab her things, muttering under her breath. Dominion felt his mother's arms wrap around him tightly. As Auntie Kemy stepped out of the house, her expression remained calm, but inside, her thoughts raced. Dominion's mother thinks she can stop me? She's just overreacting. This isn't over. She glanced back at the house one last time, her mind already working on a new plan. "I'll find another way to see him, one way or another. She can't watch him all the time." With that, she walked away, her lips curling into a small smile. Days passed, and Dominion slowly started to feel safe again. His mother was more protective, always checking on him and making sure he was never alone. But Auntie Kemy wasn't done. One afternoon at school, Dominion was walking toward his classroom when he heard a familiar voice whisper his name. "Dominion," Auntie Kemy called softly from behind a tree near the school gate. Dominion's heart skipped a beat. He froze, gripping his backpack tightly. "Come here," she said with a smile. "I have a special gift for you. Just come to the bathroom for a moment, and I'll give it to you." Dominion shook his head. His mother's words echoed in his mind. "If anyone makes you uncomfortable, always tell me." "No," he said firmly, stepping backward. "I don't want anything." Auntie Kemy's smile faltered, but she quickly forced it back. "Don't be silly. It's just a small surprise. I promise you'll like it." Dominion turned and ran straight to his teacher without looking back. When he reached the classroom, he gasped for breath and quickly told his teacher everything. The teacher's face darkened. "You did the right thing, Dominion. Don't worry, we'll take care of this." As she marched toward the school office, Dominion finally felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Courage. When Dominion got home, he wasted no time. He ran straight to his mother, his heart still racing from what had happened at school. "Mummy, Auntie Kemy came to my school today," he blurted out, his voice trembling. His mother, who had been in the kitchen, immediately turned to him. "What?" she asked sharply, her eyes narrowing. "She told me to follow her to the bathroom," Dominion continued. "She said she had a gift for me, but I said no. I told my teacher, and they said they would handle it." For a moment, his mother stood still, her face unreadable. Then, without warning, she grabbed her phone and dialed a number with a firm hand. "That woman has crossed the line," she muttered under her breath. "Mummy?" Dominion asked hesitantly. His mother placed a hand on his shoulder, her grip gentle but firm. "Don't worry, my son. I am going to make sure she never bothers you again. This time, she will learn a lesson she will never forget." She turned away, speaking into the phone with a tone Dominion had never heard before, cold, determined, and unshaken. "She went to my son's school? Good. It's time to get the police involved." When Dominion walked into his classroom the next morning, he felt a little lighter, knowing his mother was taking action. But his relief was short-lived. The principal walked in with a smile and made an announcement that sent a chill down Dominion's spine. "Students, please welcome your new teacher, Miss Kemy." Dominion's heart stopped. His breath caught in his throat as Auntie Kemy stepped forward, her familiar smile stretching across her face. He felt like the air had been knocked out of his lungs. His vision blurred, and for a moment, he thought he was going to collapse. "No, this can't be happening," he thought, his body frozen in fear. Auntie Kemy's eyes swept across the room, and the moment they landed on him, her smile grew wider. It wasn't just a normal smile, it was a knowing one. Dominion felt sick. He wanted to run, to scream, to disappear. How did this happen? How did she get here? His mind raced. If his mother was planning to stop Auntie Kemy, how could she protect him now? The teachers? The school? Would they even believe him? He clenched his fists under the desk, his body shaking. "I don't want this. I don't want to get trapped in whatever Auntie Kemy wants." He swallowed hard, forcing himself to think. "I have to tell someone again. I have to fight this. But who will listen now?" Subscribe now for part 2, where the whole drama begins. If you haven't watched part 1, click this link now.